Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Different surroundings entirely, obviously, for you certainly don't get a wooden hut or a wooden garage on board the luxury cruise ships that sail around the seven seas. No, I'm at home and I have a little job to do this morning which is boring to you. I've got to head to my accountants and leave in my accounts, but the town that it's in, Hollywood, not to be confused with Hollywood in America, is very close to the Ulster Folk Museum. And the video, but probably not the last one, but the one before, if you remember when I was in Torbay, I found a little village called Cockington that was like stepping back in time, and it gave me the idea, I know where there's a place in Northern Ireland where I can step back in time. So if it sounds like something you'd like to see, if you'd like to get a glimpse into the Northern Ireland of the past 100 years, well then, keep watching, come with me. The route that I will take to Hollywood will be boring, so I've decided to go a slightly different way. And I'll put on the cameras on the bike, and you'll get, at one point, I'm coming down a huge steep hill, come down a steep hill, and the whole vista that lies before us will be Belfast Lough and Belfast. You'll be able to see the Harland and Wolff cranes, if the visibility's good. It's dry, it's sunny, and that's the reason why I've decided to take the bike to leave the accounts in. So this is a bonus for you and me. Okay, that's something that I say, you want to watch, well then, keep watching. Okay, so I have, well, there's the beast, as I refer to it as. I've pulled into a lay-by just to sort out the Insta360 camera that I'll be using to hopefully get the footage. Some footage you've already seen from the Insta360. This is an Insta360 camera here, which shoots, believe it or not, 360 degrees. But where I've pulled in, this is Cairn Wood. Now, I'll just pan this round. I remember this used to just be a bit of a lay-by, but they decided to build this full-size car park, toilet facilities, and a guy with a coffee truck. And it's one of those things, if they build it, they'll come. Because I'm currently recording this on a Friday morning. And as you can see, it's quite busy. But enough of that, I'm going to jump back on, head on up. The part of the world I'm in is the Creantlet Hills. And then hopefully the Insta360 will pick up that vista that I was telling you about. And then I'll drop down into Hollywood, drop off the accounts, and then we'll go and visit the past. So far, it's all going well. We've arrived now at the Ulster Folk Museum. Beautiful car park. Well, when I say a beautiful car park, I mean a car park that's not stones and, you know, you can get room to park. That's it behind me there. Tickets, £11 for an adult. And this museum was opened in 1964. And what they actually did was they took buildings from all over the province, all over Northern Ireland, all over Ulster, dismantled them brick by brick and brought them here and built them again. They've named the village that they created here Cultra, because we're in the area that's Cultra, and a lot of the villages in Northern Ireland are Bally this, and Bally the other thing. So what we'll do now is just go for a little walk, a little meander. There are living exhibitions, in that there's live actors doing bits and pieces in various buildings that we'll come to. But first of all, we'll go up and just let you see. I'll do it this way for you. There's a Swedish shop. So, I haven't read any of the leaflets. So do remember that any information that I give you today, check it up. This isn't educational, this is for entertainment. But in my imagination and in my mind, these whitewashed ones are the older type of houses that there would have been, okay? Then these brick ones would have been sort of newer. Loads of streets like that around Belfast, even to this present day. These little red brick ones. Which would be probably more modern even than these ones. Okay? But we can go inside. So why not? One of the whitewashed ones first. We have a fire and all in the grate, burning. This is the size that the rooms would have been, low ceilings, the mantle. And I suppose if there were gas years ago, maybe that's what that is, I don't know. The chair, the side of the fire. Then out the back. Well, there you have it. This, of course, would have been, I think this was called the scullery. No doubt comments will flood in and tell me no, it was the pantry. And then out into the backyard. And here you go. This is exactly what you come out to the backyard for. Well, I thought I would show you. But that would have been the loo. So the jokes are often told in Belfast that if you had to go to the loo, what you got a sheet of newspaper and you lit it and you fired it out into the backyard and you ran out and did your business and tried to get in again before the paper burnt out. Ah. The yard, I have to go to the yard, is an expression from years ago. I have to go to the toilet, I have to go to the yard. Now, we'll go upstairs. So I just walked up a very, very narrow staircase. Look at that. Look how narrow that is. And these houses were always referred to as 2 up and 2 down. In other words, there's 2 rooms upstairs and 2 rooms downstairs, which was that living room where the fire is, and the scullery, the kitchen, whatever you want to call it. And then you have 2 bedrooms upstairs. Here you go. With a fire. And there, if I was going on a ship. Now these are hot water bottles. So you'd have put hot water in that, and that's how you'd have warmed up the bed. Nothing in my hand I bring. That's from Fanny J. Crosby's hymn, Just as I am without one plea. And that goes, nothing in my hand I bring, and it will continue simply to thy cross I cling. Naked come to thee for dress, helpless look to thee for Bile I to the fountain fly, wash me, Saviour, or I die. So it's not from just as I am at all. But again, comment. This is the other room. Give us this day our daily bread, and cleave unto the Lord, and out into the yard. Okay, let's go to the next one. Just before I leave these ones, you'll notice the half door. Here. So the bottom bit could have been closed and the top bit open, and the women could lean out and talk to their neighbours. The half door. Hi. Oh, I've just come into the sweetie shop. And look, there's the lady in charge. Is it okay if I film?
Yeah, well, is it just for your own stuff? Yeah.
Look at all those lovely, bad for your teeth sweets.
I'm up here, so
The old Brasso and all. I must be old because I can remember quite a bit of that stuff. There you go. I wish you could smell. Thank you. I wish you could. Thank you. I wish you could smell all those sweets. Now, another thing, it just caught my attention. The post box. You may say nothing special about that. Well, I'd say there is if you look at the initials. I think that's a BR. I think it's BR, and if I'm right, then that's Queen Victoria. These little houses are much more modern. I don't know where they came from. I could look them up. I have a map that tells me. I think I'm right. I am right. This is the dressmaker's house. Okay. So this is a replica. The original were built in the 1880s in Cluan Place in East Belfast. Dismantled and moved here in 1989. Terraced houses in East Belfast. Now, as you can see, it's the same idea. We walk in, only this is a bigger room now. Much bigger. With like an Aga stove or a range. This is the dressmakers. There's probably a Singer sewing machine. Reminds me of the old joke, everybody in my family were singers, even the sewing machine. Then, so this is, notice there's 3 rooms down here. Now, upstairs is closed off, so I can't go up there. Dressmaker's house. Now we've arrived in Mill Street, as you can see, Mill Street. There's the drapers. The dispensary. Yeah, and also get married there, register, the registry office. This is McCusker's pub. Well, it's not the sort of pub I'd be used to.
No, and that's not. It was like part of a house, the bottom part of a house that they converted into a pub.
To make a few extra pounds.
It was the trade. So Hugh McCusker traded as a publican in a bigger bar. We kind of bar in Armagh, and it's still going. So this came from Armagh, and
That saves me looking that up now, doesn't it?
So yes, he trained there, and then he decided to get started in business. He bought this house. He lived with his family for 2 years, then turned the downstairs into the pub I see, and it was operational right up until 1970. So he died in 1934, and his wife Jane took over the license for 30 years, and then it was owned by Mammy Vinci. And then in the 1970s, they had to stop, and the royal houses had to be demolished just for health safety reasons. So this pub had to stop. The museum came in, some of these photographs before it was demolished, got out also through testimonies and all history from patrons, and then they were able to recreate the pub. It was really good.
A wealth of information.
Yes.
Tell you what wasn't in the pub way back then. Something I have seen now, I'm going to show you. Potato, cheese and onion. Now look at that. If you've never in your life tasted potato, cheese and onion, well, you haven't lived.
It's very true. It's very true. It's the substitute for the fact that we cannot sell or leave out salted nuts on the tables.
A little modern touch to the past. Thank you. Oh, this is where you would
Yes,
go in and
over
drink.
there. Yep.
Wow. Oh yeah. Look at that. McCusker's pub. Now, behind me there you go. You can see it, yeah? That is actually Newtonard's parochial house and Portaferry parochial hall. So that is where I live. It's the town. I live in Donaghadee. It's about, I don't know, 5-minute run from where I live to Newtonard's. You'll have heard of Newtonard. And there, it's here now. Let's go in. I'm just going to correct that before the keyboard warriors get at me. That's actually the parochial house from Portaferry. And this is the parochial house from Newtonard's. Okay? Portaferry. By the time you watch this video, I'll have been, but they're doing a comedy show, our Jimmy, in what is now the current, I think it's a Presbyterian church, Portico in Portaferry. So let's do the Newtonard's one, and then we'll do that one. So I take it all back. sure if my microphone will pick up the ticking of that clock. I love it. And then we'll now go into the next one. Unfortunately, I can't get in today. But this is a living museum. This is a living museum, so they're constantly working at things. So that could be the reason for that. Ah. What's next? So this, did you see, is Ballyberda National School. All those lovely buildings there. Oh. And look at this with the initials carved in the desks. The holes for the old ink wells. And the teacher's desk. She, why do I think it's a she? She or he got sitting close to the fire. I would have been sitting here. Back corner, looking out the window, thinking of everything but school. There. I thought I could do that while I was videoing, you know, swing it around. Just the internal camera. I can turn the actual camera, and I wouldn't see what I was looking at, if you know what I mean. So this is Drumcree from Portadown. Catholic Church. What am I told about this? I'll keep the camera on the church and tell you that this is the original. Originally built in 1783 on the Birches Road, Portadown, dismantled and brought here in 1990. There's all the pews. We have the balcony. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, please hit like. Consider subscribing to this channel, The Traveling Comic. Not on my travels abroad today, but I just thought I would do a little travel near home on the motorbike and let you see this place. I'm not going to see it all, but I'll see bits and pieces of it. Okay, now here's a beautiful little row of thatched houses. And this is a terrace of 17th century houses from Ballyvolan on the County Antrim shore of Lough Neagh. Nearly 400 years old, those trusses. There you go, oak pegs, tie beam. And the clay daub. That's, which is the, look, I'll show you that. That's the internal wall from the original house. Hey? It was their own form of cavity wall insulation, I can tell you. It's amazing. What the old barn, isn't that fabulous? Tell you one thing, if a wee mouse was to run out of there, you would hear me squeal like a banshee. Don't know if I've ever told you that. Scared stiff of mice. There's the forge. This is an original. Originally built in 1700. Comes from Ballinderry in County Antrim. The forge. Now, in front of me we have the old police station, the Royal Irish Constabulary. The RIC, that was before it became the RUC. There's the old police station. Let's see if we're allowed in there. Well, there he is. Probably the sergeant lived here. There's his coats, his trunks. I mean, I don't mean his trunks. Well, back there are his trunks, the long johns. Pair of boots. And then across here, and this is probably where they sat and were briefed about what was happening. 4 old rifles. Write up your report. What happened? He was jaywalking. And this was originally in Antrim. I think it was Castle Street now. I don't need to tell you what this is. That's your prison cell. I was just heading out and I just noticed this, which is very interesting. Look at the decoration on that hearth. You have the harp and the shamrocks and the crown and the RIC. Now, next to the police station we have this, which is the post office. Again, originally from Antrim. Brought here and first opened in 1995. And again, it's an original from the time. The post office. There's nibs. I remember having a pen that I could change the nib in. I must be very old. Ink. Remember Quink? Parcels. The thread that you could tie the parcel up with. The teller was in there. And the post and all the different little boxes for the postmen to take wherever they're going. Church Street, Main Street, Mill Street, Castle Street, Meeting Street. It's obviously the postmaster or postmistress's house where they lived as well as worked. It's a fascinating place, this. I forgot how good this place was. You have to come here, you know. Situated between Belfast and Belfast and Bangor. Now there's the printers. You want stuff printed? I get posters done for my show. The door's closed, so I'm not going to go in and open it. You can see the big printing press. Now what I'll do is I'll look at these last few buildings here. They're not the last buildings in this park. There's loads more away up Country Walk. But I'll look at these last ones. And then I'll see if the little tea room is open. And if it is, we'll go and have a cup of tea. So I'll start with this. Let's go inside the church. So it's the Church of Ireland, originally built in 1790, and it was brought here from Kilmore in County Down. We'll go inside. A very simple affair. Interestingly, I think these are like family pews, but if you look at them, sometimes you weren't sitting facing the minister. Maybe that's where the kids sat, so that they could misbehave. And the big stove to heat it in the middle. Just before I get out of the road. Now, I honestly don't think people are really buried here. Simple church. Now, obviously, this museum, it's a living museum, and it's currently undergoing renovations, you know, to keep it up to date. Essential maintenance, basically. And sometimes some of them are closed, such as the northern bank here. But if you look in, I hope you can see without the reflection of the window. Maybe you can't. If you can't, I'll edit it out. It's just the counters with the brass partitions. You know, the brass. You can look through them and look out through them. What are they called? Like jail windows. You know what I mean? No. Oh. An old cart. Oh. They're probably getting ready for their harvest here. That's why there was a bale of hay inside that church. Because they do different events and you know, full proper events. And here's an old well. Again, I'm old enough to remember. How old am I? I'm old enough to remember wells at the side of the pumps, not a well, pump, excuse me, at the side of the road. And my father would have stopped the car and would have got out, and he'd have pumped it. There would have been a tin can attached with a chain, and you'd have filled it up and drunk it. It was lovely. You never ever thought, well, who drank out of there before and who's going to drink out of that? That was all a load of nonsense. There's none of that. You just drank it. Now, here we come to John Kelly Limited. This name's still synonymous in the province with coal importing. And I think I'm right in saying that this particular weighbridge, I'll just see why I think that's the truth, how I know that. I think anyway that it came from Donaghadee, which is the town that I live in. I've lost myself on the map, so I don't know where I am. But I'm nearly sure that that came from Donaghadee, the weighbridge. I read that somewhere. I don't know where, but I did. And there's the coal in the coal yard. Oh wow, you see it? I'm going to show you now. Look at this, look at that. Isn't that just magnificent? Gotta make sure you can see that, yeah. John Kelly, established 1840. Do yourselves a favour and come and visit here. Please. Cultra tea room. As I said right at the very start of this, a long time ago, I don't know how long this video will be, even when I try to edit it down, that they've just named this town Cultra. But there's the tea room. And I'm going to partake. And I'm not alone. Smells delicious. Well, I don't think I need to tell you what this shop sold. There's tires, there's saddles, handlebars. So there's saddles. Cyclist Touring Club. Valley Cyclist. Get yourself a pair of shoes made in there. I love these things. This tells you everything that's going on. The shoemaker's house and shop, bicycle repair shop, and the railway porter shop. Is it an original or a replica? It's an original. Built in 1870. From Meeting Street, Dromore, County Down. Brought here in 79, rebuilt and opened in 1981. Coleman's mustard. I'm still fond of that. Well, with a little row of whitewashed houses behind me, I was going to say cottages, they're houses behind me. This is where I'll wind up this particular video here in the museum in Cultra. If you have enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. There are over 55 buildings and places of interest to see here. And as you know, I only visited a fraction of them, but it's a snapshot so that you'll be interested to come here and see it for yourself. Just across the carriageway, there is the Transport Museum that has got cars and trams and trolley buses and helicopters and aeroplanes. And maybe on another occasion, I'll come and visit it and you can come with me as well. For now, that is it. I see the beast is sitting exactly where I parked it, which is good. Even though I put a lock on the front and a lock on the back, I'll head there, I'll head home. Until the next time, enjoy yourselves.